What's up, y'all? I'm Kelly Clarkson.
Hey, it's Dave McRae.
Hey, I'm Josh from the band Need to Breathe.
I'm Olivia Lunny.
We are so excited to welcome to the Kelly Alexander Show, Akon. Hi.
What up, Kels?
Hey, I'm Judy Gold.
And I'm hanging out with the Kelly Alexander Show.
This is Jordan, and I'm hanging out on the Kelly Alexander Show.
I'm Rob, and I'm hanging out on the Kelly Alexander Show.
I'm hanging out with the Kelly Alexander Show right now.
Jealous?
We are very excited to welcome to the Kelly Alexander Show an amazing artist and performer, and we cannot wait to speak to her. Young Leo, she's had over 600,000 streams. She was the iHeartRadio Future Star for her song Habit, and we are just thrilled to be able to speak to you. How you doing?
Hi, Kelly. I'm good. How are you?
I am fantastic. Super happy to welcome you to the show. And I
Thanks
have
for
to start
having
by finding out how your love for music started. And did you always want to be an artist since you were little?
My love for music came from my parents. It wasn't love at first. Well, it was love from them, wanting the best for me, but they put me in music school like pretty young when I couldn't like even make a decision for myself other than my favorite color.
Yeah.
So I started music when I was 4. I went to like music school until I was like 16, and then there's a point where I dropped out because it was classical music and it was too much for me. I was like, I learned a bunch of stuff, but I need to go my own way, and I started a couple bands with friends. So that's where my real love for music grew, because I feel like I found my identity as a musician there. Although I believe it was, it was, the potential was there. So
And
yeah.
were your family, like you said, they were supportive and they obviously started your career off. Like, did they actually want you to go in the arts, or they just thought that would be like a good hobby for you?
It was never like a hobby, honestly. It was like to a high level all the time. Kind of like Whiplash. I'm sure they would like laugh if they heard that, but they weren't in the lesson with me. I came out crying often. But no, for real. I did learn some great things, but it wasn't a hobby. It was like a second school. Like I feel like as a child, I would go to school and like get good enough grades so I could practice, like every hour that I would get outside of school, and then perform in music as well. So it was always like, and then like I basically like couldn't really see my friends on weekends. So not a hobby, unfortunately.
But
It's
I
not
think
a thing.
it's working for you. And when you were growing up, I know you mentioned classical. Who did you look to musically for influences? And like did you have a pop star that you loved, and like do you still like them today? Do you find these influences seep into the music that you're producing right now?
Yeah, so I feel like my influences weren't like pop stars. I have like pop stars that I really like now, but growing up it was more like folk singers. I was always really about like lyrics, and I would like listen to songs on repeat of like Martha Wainwright, Emily Haynes, Knives Don't Have Your Back. That's an amazing album. And who else? Like Cat Power. Like those women were the women that I was like, I'm gonna make music like that, one day. And then the reason I went into pop is because like folk's too serious for me. And like I'm really like, I don't know, like I have this joy and like energy that I like to play. So I feel like pop is just the right spot for me, personally.
You look like you're a Lady Gaga fan, are you?
I am. I'm not a groupie though. Like I'll be like, I'll really like an artist, but I'm like this album and that album. And like, so, but yeah, I definitely love her style. I love strong personalities.
I got that sense. I got that sense. That's amazing. So you have a new single. It's called Too Good. how is this single original, and what do you want people to take away from listening to it?
I think the way that we wrote it, it like I wrote it to be a ballad first. It was this very emotional song. Like moving on from a bad relationship and working on your building your self-esteem. But then we switched it into something completely different with the drum and bass beat. And I think it all along, I wanted it to be something that people listen to when they don't yet have the strength to like be able to say that, but like it almost like came up like a mantra, like I was too good for you, like how it repeats. I want people to use that and to really feel it. And so, I mean, that's how it's original, I guess.
How do you go through your creative process? Like, do you always have to write the lyrics? Like, and who are you working with? Are you producing yourself? Like, how does that all go?
So I used to work by myself and then bring the stuff to producers, but then it felt a little lonely, to be honest. But at the time, I didn't have the people that I like trusted to do it together. So I met Luca, the producer, who I'm working on these records with, and Brittany Kwasnick, aka Bela. So I'm working with those two people. Like these are my main collaborators. I also have like other ones, more minor. So I like how, you can feel like one day, but still write a happy song. It brings me like other places that I didn't know before. And it also brought me like outside of my head, because that's something that, made me like, I thought it was a form of integrity with myself, but then I realized it was more ego of like, like obsessing over lyrics for hours and hours. And now I'm like, hey, don't take yourself too seriously. Like like there's songs where I'm going to be like, this is important that, this line says exactly what I have in my mind. But there's a lot of the times now where I go like, oh, Bela says something and I'm like, you know what? You're right. This is better. Let's keep that. And then when I look at the song at the end, it's like, you did this with friends. It's so cool.
Now, as an up and coming Canadian recording artist, like pop artist here, what are some of the challenges that you faced already in your career, and how have you moved past them? And I'll even just add this in, like, I know you self-manage, which is amazing because like that's a lot of work.
Yeah. Well, that's a challenge. So like, I think that, okay, so your question is about like Canada, but also in general as an artist. So I'll start with in general, because you talked about self-management. I think it's hard to like manage the emotional aspect of decisions and the decisions themselves. So you have to it's something that I've learned to do. I'm not always 100%, there's days where I'll get very affected by an answer that I get or something, but it used to be way harder. And for Canada, I think the market here is like way smaller. I think it's harder, like getting on the radio here is one thing, being on the American radio is different. I feel like there's just less people, like you'll have the entire country listening to your song, but it's nothing compared to the numbers in the States. So for Canada, I think for me as well, I have to say that I'm Franco. So this is another challenge. I don't think we talk about it very much here, but it's also like there's also preconceived ideas and a little bit of bullying around, being a Franco in Quebec. Of course, I write and sing in English, so not everyone knows that, but it's something that I like to, like make clear, because it's also out of respect for where I come from. Yeah.
Now, you talked about the States. I know a lot of people, well, we'll start with the fact that you live here in Montreal, which is where my show is based. A lot of artists, even though Montreal is very creative, I think leave. They either go to Toronto or they go to New York or they go to Los Angeles. I mean, there is a fair amount that stay, but like, did you even contemplate yet having to maybe move to Toronto or move somewhere else to get your career to the next level, or do you think you can do it from here?
Yeah, I've thought about it. I'm not at a point where I'm like, oh, I really have to do it, because I feel that mobility is like getting easier and easier with like trains. I also am attached to Montreal, but it definitely is easier for pop artists in Toronto. Like there's so many more opportunities. And I feel like people in Quebec sometimes are like snobs of like the music industry in Quebec is like snobs of like pop music. They'll be like, they'll sign any artist before signing a pop artist. Like the proof is that like you're a pop artist here and everyone's just talking like the only reference they have is Charlotte Cardin. And I'm like, but there are so like she's great, but there are so many pop artists that are as talented as her. But it's just that, you know, someone made a move with her to sign her, but it's just not the same. Being a folk artist here, I feel there's so many more opportunities. You can play anywhere. You can like, I feel like, you know, like a garage band is more will be more successful here than like a career artist if it's pop, you know, just because it's like, I don't know, there's this like, people call it like humility or something, but it just feels like it needs to be like, you can't be extravagant, which pop is about, you know? So yeah, Toronto, I've thought about like LA, and I spend time in like New York, but it just, nothing feels like home. And I have my homies here, and you know, it's like, it's easier than ever to travel or to just work remotely. So I also think it makes me unique to be working from Quebec.
Yeah,
So
which is great. Well, keep holding the banner high because I'm there right with you. So keep doing it. Now, when the song releases, your new single, Too Good, how do you think you're gonna feel once it's out in the world? And also, can we expect an EP from you at some point?
well, I've been very excited. I have people like messaging me like, when is it coming out? And I'm like, I cannot wait. But so I'm gonna feel very excited. I'm gonna listen to it on repeat. And then EP, I don't know what I can say about this. I don't know what I'm allowed to say. I know that there's like, I'm working on an album. I don't know when the next phase is gonna be released, but I'm definitely working on a bigger body of work than what is out yet. So
Do you feel a pressure with this new single, Too Good, because you've had such success with Habit, or are you just excited to be like, no, like, let's go, this is the next one?
honestly, I like it more than Habit.
Okay.
And I've been saying this, and I have, you know, I have said it to everybody. I've been more excited about Too Good than Habit. I think Habit is really good, but Too Good has a special place in my heart. It's like, it resonates so hard with my soul. And I hope it does with the people that listen to it as well.
Where were you and what did it feel like the first time you heard Habit on the radio?
I was in the car that I borrowed from a friend, and that was it's so weird. I got in the car and it started right away. Like I was like, I'm gonna have to like spend so much time in the car, you know, because I don't have a radio in my house, and to like hear my song and make a video. And I'm like, and like the video that I made, I was not expecting it. It's like I tried to zoom in on like the Virgin Radio like number, but I zoom in on like I think a bird or something. Like completely off focus. But that was great. The emotion was there.
Tell us how you found out that you got the iHeartRadio Future Star and what did that mean to you? Because that's like a big deal for people in Canada to get that, spotlight on you for a full month, where you're getting your song played right across Canada.
Yeah. It meant a great deal to get that recognition also as an independent artist. I think it was I didn't believe it when I heard it. My radio tracker called me and it was like 2 days before it was announced. And he was like, or he texted me and he was like, can we talk? And honestly, I was like, hey, he just wants to say that we didn't get it. Like, it's fine. We'll try again. Or like, and then, but we'd been talking about it for a year with Bela because I was like, that would be great. And then, so I pick up the phone when he calls and he's like, he has this whole like introduction that like just lasts forever. And then he's like, so can you keep a secret? And I'm like, where are you going with this? Like, and then, oh, I'm so sorry. I told people not to call me, but, so yeah, so he's like, how can you keep a secret? And I'm like, yeah, like for sure. And then he's like, you are the next iHeartRadio Future Star. And I was like, what? And then we were supposed to have like a 30-minute meeting.
Yeah.
And him and Bela were talking. And honestly, I was just like, I was flatline.
That's
Yeah, no, it's great. I was like, and also, you can get pretty cynical navigating the music industry. It's tough. And so it kind of removed a layer of that for me as well. So people are like, oh, it opened doors. It did open doors, but I think that the biggest door that it opened is it lifted some of that cynicism that I had. That was like, oh, there's actually like people willing to take risks. And that for me is everything.
amazing. Now, talk to us about what you are manifesting over the next like 6 months to a year. Like, what does young Leo want to have happen?
Manifesting. Do you manifest?
I do. I try. Yep.
I haven't started. I feel like it's still something that I need to, appropriate.
Yeah.
But I think that, getting my music heard, hopefully more songs going on the radio, playing gigs all over Canada. These are things that I would love. But I think that for me, is like to keep working with people that I respect, people that have, great hearts, great values. I know it might sound cliche and like, oh, but it really, like ever since I got Future Star, I feel like that's been the most important thing for me, to have people around me who respect other people. And that's like everything. I could be doing any job, and that's what I would want to happen. I can't be successful and have like people being treated like around me.
I have a few quick questions for you so that your fans and new fans get to know you. So this is
Yes.
our fast fact round.
I
So
love
what's the screensaver on your phone?
Jesus on a skateboard.
That's amazing. What is your favorite TV show to like binge watch?
Seinfeld.
That's solid. That's a good choice. Is there an artist or producer who you would absolutely love to work with? Like that is just like you're just so excited if you would get that opportunity.
Yeah. Artist, I would say Gracie, Gracey. She's in the UK. And producer, I think I'd like to try a song with Banks and Ranks. I just haven't spoken to them.
You should speak to
They're
them.
right here.
You should speak to them.
I will.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's manifest that.
Okay.
That's a good one. Yeah. What is your favorite cheat meal?
Cheat meal or cheap?
Cheat. Do you want to sit there and eat like poutine, a big
No, I think it's gonna be like fish sticks. I still like a little protein. Like
That's fair. I thought you might say you want to sit there and eat a big thing, like a big bucket of ice cream. No? Okay.
no. Okay. I
If-
love ice cream, but not as
a bucket. If you could switch places with another artist or producer for one day, who would it be and why? Just to see what their life is like.
I don't think I would switch with anybody. I think you're meant to be where you are.
That's a good answer. There's only 2 artists that I think have ever said that to me. Usually somebody wants to just see what another person's life is like for one day. So that's cool that you said nope. Are you a night owl or a morning person?
Morning person.
And who, when you were like a teenager, did you have like a picture on your wall? Like, did you have posters and who were they?
I feel like I'm boring that way. Like I was so into classical music. I have this like repeat. I still have it here, and now it's cool. But I hated it when my parents gave it to me. It's like a little frame. It's like an old painting
Yeah.
of a violinist with like a dark angel behind it. It's super scary. That's what I had on my wall.
So no Taylor Swift.
No, I mean like I knew those people, but I wasn't, I wasn't the typical teenager.
That's all good. And last question, what message do you have for your Montreal fans?
I hope you like Too Good. I hope it makes you feel good, and there's more coming your way.
Amazing. Thank you so much for doing this.
Thank you so much, Kelly. This is great.
That is Young Leo. Don't forget to follow her on social media at Young Leo Music and be on the lookout for her new single, Too Good.
Hey, it's Kelly Alexander, and thank you so much for watching. Please make sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel, youtube.com/Kelly Alexander Show, so you are the first in line for all the cool content coming your way.